What's up YouTube, this is Paul from Mickey Tech Tips, and today we're going to be talking about, is 4K resolution relevant? So I guess let's get started. Okay, so the reason why I'm talking about is 4K resolution relevant is because, let's see, many phones have 4K resolution now. You can buy cameras with 4K resolution. There's even 4K TVs out now, 4K computer monitors, graphics cards that can support 4K graphics, um, 4K laptops, you name it. There's 4K just about everywhere nowadays. So I thought, you know what, let's talk about it. So, yes, 4K resolution is relevant. Um, just like, remember when HD resolution came out? We first started out with 720p. I want to say, I forget how long ago, but I would say about 10 years ago, we started out like 720p HD. It's probably longer than that. I honestly don't keep track anymore. But we started out with 720p, then we eventually walked up to 1080p, and then later on they walked it up to 1440p, which still not many people have 1440p stuff. My phone, my Droid Turbo 2 has a 1440p screen, but you don't see it as much stuff as like a 1080p or a 4K display, and that's because a lot of people are making the jump from 1080p to 4K, and now they even have like 5K and even 8K displays out, which 8K is still kind of a little ways off, but at least we know that the technology is getting there. 4K is coming along very nicely though, and I remember when people first started getting like flat screen TVs that had like 720p and that had HDMI and stuff, and like there was some problems at first. A lot of them were like the plasma displays, which caused problems that people end up returning them because they were just like bad. Then they eventually came out with LED and LCD displays, and they worked out great. Like now 4K, we have these OLED displays and quantum dot and stuff, and they've been working out great. And they finally also got stuff to support the bandwidth, whether it be HDMI 2.0, which would carry I think 4K resolution. I don't know the actual numbers on that off top of my head. I know 1080p is 1920 by 1080, but I don't know the actual numbers for 4K. It's like 3000 by like 2000 or something, but I don't know it off the top of my head. But anyway, so you got stuff like HDMI 2.0 that can carry 60 frames per second. You got DisplayPort port 1.4 that can carry up to 60 frames per second and stuff now. And now apparently on Nvidia's new Pascal cards, if you use two DisplayPort 1.4 connectors up to a like a 4K display, you can get 120 hertz. The only thing that's lacking now is the display technology to go past 60 hertz. So once we see that, I honestly think once you see that jump above 90 hertz and stuff, we're really seriously making progress with that. But right now, even now, 60 hertz is fine, and it's not going to do a bunch of stuttering and whatnot in video games and in TV, because a lot of stuff's moving to 60 frames per second on video, which the only problem with that is it uses more bandwidth, and it's going to take some getting used to on the 60 frames per second because it's not natural yet to see stuff moving like it should be. So there's that, but at least we know that they've got good intentions. I've seen demos which 4K looks amazing. I plan on upgrading to 4K probably within the next year or so. I need to after I build my PC, the first thing I will be doing is probably doing a graphics card upgrade and then go from there. But anyway, as I was saying though, some of you guys are probably wondering what's like 60 hertz or like 120 hertz. It's the refresh rate or frames per second on your display. Like both my displays behind me, the center one, which is the one directly behind me, is a 60 hertz 1080p one, and then one beside it's like a 900p at like 60 hertz, which still isn't too bad, but I'm going to be jumping up to at least another 1080p monitor, and then I'll go buy a 4K monitor and then have like two 1080p's on the side for now. But anyway, as I was saying, you got 60 hertz. A lot of 4K displays were still running 30 hertz for the most part, which is fine for like movies and stuff, but for gaming, no. But it even ticked me off for a while seeing that a lot of these displays that came out didn't even have like the necessary stuff to run 4K. It would run 4K either at 30 hertz or wouldn't run it at all. So then you just have a TV that would only play 4K content off the internet, which the internet bandwidth isn't there yet, but it's probably fixing to get there because remember 1080p streaming you can always play it on home internet. But since I was like fiber out in like multiple 100 megabit per second up and down streams. Actually, you just mainly need it for down. They got it upwards of multiple 100 megabit per second down streams. I think even streaming it's going to be soon. 4K Blu-rays are fixing to come out, which is going to be neat. There's a lot of stuff that's coming out. Now, the only problem with 4K right now is the bandwidth, because it's going to take a lot of high-speed transfer and a lot of stuff to store it. So, like, I remember I took a 30-second 4K video on my Droid Turbo 2. It took about 200 megabytes, which is kind of a little bit high for a 30-second video, because usually 200 megabytes is like a minute to maybe about 2 minutes in HD, depending on the bitrate of the camera. So that's kind of a drawback. So eventually we'll get there with this bandwidth. But it is relevant because even if you don't have a 4K display and people shoot stuff in 4K, they can always downsample it to 1080p and still have like brighter contrast and all that good stuff. And it just looks really great with the contrast and brightness, and it better than like shooting at 1080p and trying to adjust all that stuff by hand. But we're just about there. The only thing now is that we give it a couple years and there'll probably be more people with 4K displays than 1080p, but it's getting there. Now, some people I'd have heard say that 4K is, they don't care for it because 1080p is fine. I understand that. For now, a lot of people are going to probably say that just because they're going to wait for the cost to come down, but I do agree 4K is kind of a little, the pricing on some of the stuff is high, but it has started to come down in the recent years. But it's getting there. It looks realistic. It looks awesome. 1080p I thought was just fine, but 4K is the next thing. And even if you don't jump to 4K when it comes affordable, 1080p is still fine. It's better than using 720 or anything lower than that. And even then, on 4K displays, I've seen more and more 1440p displays come out. So it's one of those things. Honestly, I think within the next few years we will have 4K everywhere, but it's a good thing. If you get like a 46-inch 4K display, it would be equivalent to having like 4 1080p displays, so it works out. So yeah, I'd say keep an eye out on technology. I'm fixing to go to 4K probably soon when I have the extra money after building my PC. It'll be a little while because I do want to upgrade graphics card and then move over, but it's something neat. My Dell Venue 11 Pro, if I get the dock, it would support at 30 Hz, which is enough to watch videos, but I'm not going to mess with that, but it's really neat. I think it's just about the depth of like standard definition TV and stuff, because that's almost gone. Now I know on cable, a lot of people are saying that there's no bandwidth for 4K television. No, there isn't. But if you have but if you can stream it over the internet, eventually probably everything will be just based off like connect to your Wi-Fi and then stream your cable over your internet connection, or they might just have like a box that works similar over like an internet connection like they do on everything else nowadays, from phones to like just internet and whatnot. So yeah, remember to like, comment, subscribe. I hope you loved hearing me ramble on about how great 4K is, and it's coming up very soon for everyone. See you guys next time.